Okay, I need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. Phew. All those in favor? Okay, it's nice to see all of you here this evening. I'd like to start out by thanking Roblin Hatch and Kim Amsden. We were contacted by MSBA and told that we could apply for some special board recognition, which is about the school district and not so much us. And so I presented that to Roblin and Kim at the very last minute, and they didn't slap me, but they cheerfully said, we'll take care of that for you. So I want to start out this meeting by being grateful to them for helping me with that. Actually, they did it all, so I appreciate it very much. Also, I'd like to thank everyone who voted to sustain the veto, the governor's veto, particularly those Republicans who seem to be taking quite a bit of heat for their decisions, and I emailed all of them and told them thanks for supporting public education. So that's all I have to say. Anybody else?
Dolores and I were able to attend the meeting September 4th for, remind me what it's called.
PR.
PR, thank you. And it went very well. I want to thank Matt for being there and doing a great job with it, and for Brandy Farrow for doing it. And Dolores and I plan on attending as many as we can this year, and look forward to that communication and being there and working with our staff.
Okay, do we have any communications from the audience this evening? Okay, then it looks like Dr. Winslow, you are next on the agenda.
Good evening. I'd like to thank the board for giving us this opportunity to recognize some special people at our school. And the first one that we would like to recognize is our Heartland hero, Leo Cachet. Leo, would you like to come on up? Let me tell you just a little bit about Leo. He is an extremely hard worker. He never stops. I have a little quote that I think sums it up, how we feel about Leo and the job that he does for us. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. And that's by Vince Lombardi, and that's Leo. So with that, we would like to thank you, Leo, for giving us your best at the middle school. We appreciate all that you do.
Well, thank you. You guys make it easy, and I really appreciate it.
Okay.
This goes to all the custodians over there.
Good.
Yes, I have good supporting cast behind me. So
Thank you,
for me.
and we'd like you to. And the thing that I didn't say about Leo, he is always in a good mood, and he always, this is Leo, he always has a smile on his face. And he is so smart. He is so smart. I couldn't figure a way to trick him to get here, so I just had to tell him.
You talk to Harry over there, he'll tell you it's not all the time.
Thank you. Okay, our featured teacher, Sally, would you please come up here with a smile? Come on up here, gal. Okay. What would Sally Sullivan-Shen do? These are the parting words to Sally from a peer teacher. Many of us, including myself, on more than several occasions, find ourselves thinking about that statement. And yes, Sally, I have thought about it already many times in the past 4 weeks. Miss Sally's passion for teaching and students, I will never forget the many leadership meetings that we have had over the years. And I know, Matt, you probably remember a few of those. When Sally got into an idea, it was not dropped. We would often experience blood, sweat, and tears, right? But she always got the job accomplished. And this is a quote. This, I think, will be the third time that I've read it because I just like it because it's you, Sally. The future does not belong to those who are content with today, apathetic toward common problems and their fellow men alike, timid and fearful in the face of bold projects and new ideas. Rather, it will belong to those who can blend passion, reason, and courage and a personal commitment to their ideas. Robert F. Kennedy. Thank you, Sally. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I just want to say something, actually a couple of things, but number one, although I really appreciate this, there's a building full of people that equally deserve any kind of recognition, and they're actively teaching. And as a matter of fact, I encouraged Dr. Winslow to go back when this hall came about last spring. 5 people were nominated. Many of them are here tonight. The other 4 people were Allison Hensley, Jared Howe, Sarah Langford, and Dustin Washam. And they should be being recognized this evening instead of me. But I appreciate the thought and the sentiment, and I want to congratulate not only Matt, but the board on your direction and your courage and your bravery, and we love you, and I'm very proud of you, and it's been an honor to work with you, so thank you very much. Thank you. Hey, Mr. How are you? How are you?
Good.
Hey, Mr. How are you?
All right.
Good. How are you?
We don't have any plaques here.
All right. Look forward to prosper.
Do you want our character? Okay. Yeah. With that, I'm going to introduce Mr. Todd McKinney, our assistant principal, and he has been heading up quite a program at our school, our character ed.
Yeah, I want to talk just for a second about what we're doing at the middle school and go over that with you. We've taken a whole-scale approach to character education at Farmington Middle School, and there's a lot of things right now that we've got going. And this has been in the works for some time. Last year, at the very beginning of the year, we formed a character committee and started looking at ways to really implement character education at the middle school and really focus on it and become so that it would become who we are at Farmington Middle School. And we wanted to build a program that would last, and there's been a lot of planning in the works. Part of that is our character council. Our character council is a group of individuals who had to apply for and interview for a position on the character council, these students. It replaces student council and student ambassadors. Those organizations we had removed from the school as a club organization and replaced it with the character council. I would also like to, I'd love to talk more about all the stuff that we're doing with character education at Farmington Middle School. And with that, I would like to invite you guys over on the 24th, next Tuesday morning at 7:30. The school board's been invited to come over at 7:30 in the morning, and we're going to discuss everything that we're doing at Farmington Middle School, including the curriculum that's been written, the class that's being taught at this time, what we've done with ISS and things of that nature. But we're going to go over that on the 24th. But first, today, what we'd like to do is our student voice in the middle school. We'd like to introduce the Character Council to you and have some of those individuals come up and speak today. The Character Council is headed up by Jared Howe, Mr. Howe, and Kim Kennedy, our art teacher, and also unofficially Allison Hensley, because anything we do at the middle school, Allison is generally involved with. So that's what we do. So I would like to introduce the Character Council members to you at this time. Thank you.
Get pillars.
Good evening. We represent the members of the FMS Character Council. My name is Derek Wisdom. Thank you for having us.
My name is Suki Scott. My name is Nick Nelson.
My name is Harrison Woodell.
My name is Broughton Cloud. And my name is Claire Ferguson.
Now, we 6 students are just a small part of this council. Character Council has 54 members from the 7th and 8th grade. We applied and were interviewed in the process of becoming a member. We are very proud to be able to serve as the first council in the middle school system.
In everything we as council members do, we try to model the 8 pillars of integrity. The 8 pillars are respect, honesty, accountability, perseverance, empathy, humility, courageous leadership, and service. These 8 pillars were chosen because they are all characteristics in becoming a high-achieving student and adult in the future.
Our council is divided into 9 committees: dance, decoration, fundraising, team building, announcement, historian, school store, birthday committee, and events. That's us. We're here to tell you about our past, our present, and our future.
Last year, the Character Committee interviewed over 100 kids from the 6th grade and the 7th grade. It was tough, but they finally decided only 54. Selection criteria were followed that included behavior and academic effort. Going through the interview process helped me to see how important this was and made me appreciate being selected.
On August 10th, we had our very first meeting before the school year began. We had guest speakers like Mr. McKinney and Mrs. Moore. They talked to us about what we were expected of from the middle school as Character Council members. We enjoyed doing team building activities such as running around the school safely for a scavenger hunt. We were also given this activity helped us to get more acquainted with the building and the school and helped us work as a team. We were also given a partner from the opposite grade so that we were accountable throughout the year to make sure that we were keeping up with our academics and showing good character at all times. Our school is very important to us, and without good grades we wouldn't be in this council.
As you know, even before the first day of school, we have been hard at work. At open house, we were in charge of showing the students and their families around to their new teachers and classrooms. We manned the library for an activity center for families who wanted to have a little bit of extra fun. We popped free popcorn and took silly pictures with some ridiculous props. We also handed out pamphlets explaining to the parents who we were and what we were all about. Open house was one of our early successes, and we expect to build on that as the year goes on.
Every morning we meet as an entire council with our advisors, Mr. Howe and Mrs. Kennedy. In the Media Center, we are involved in a wide variety of activities based on our committee's assignments from 7:15 to 8:20. When new students enroll in our school, we are their personal tour guides to show them around the school and help them meet their teachers and get more acquainted with the building.
Character Council is going to plan and assist with several events and functions this year. Already we're going to participate in the homecoming parade on October 10th. This is an opportunity for us to share about the council with the parade spectators. We will debut our new logo designed by Mrs. Kennedy on our t-shirts. We're also going to be planning a kickball tournament on October 18th to raise funds for breast cancer research. The Historian Committee will document and display all the amazing things that happen at our school. Students will continue to help run the school store, fundraise for the school, make birthday posters, decorate students' lockers because we want them to feel special, and also we're developing activities for teachers to use with their advisories when they have team building in the gym. We are also considering doing a mystery dinner night theater, an anti-Valentine's week, visiting a nursing home facility, promoting literacy school-wide, providing homework help, planning for Lincoln transfer station students, scavenger hunt, a Scrabble tournament, developing a website, and hosting a teen tech week, putting assembly for character emphasis, and actually helping teach character lessons in the future.
Character Council is looking forward to making our school a better place socially, emotionally, physically, and academically. We will do our best to show phenomenal leadership, demonstrate respect, and make the right choices to be great role models for the staff and the students.
We know we are laying the groundwork for future students. All of us would like to take this opportunity to invite each of you to become involved as your schedule allows. We would love the chance to hear your story, to ask you a question about character, and to have you involved in our school.
We'd like to present you with a small gift.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity to address the Board of Education. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, what's an anti-Valentine week?
Basically, instead of as our grade 12, 13, 14 years old, we all want to be lovey-dovey with our boyfriends and girlfriends. It's more focused on friendship. So it's more anti-lovey-dovey.
Oh, that's great. I like that, yeah.
Anti-lovey-dovey. Get that in the notes.
I'd like to say I'm very proud of all of you getting up here in front of everyone and speaking.
You did such a good job.
Great job, guys.
Yeah, we can all hear you. Great.
Can I ask what grade you guys are in? You're on the same? Eighth grade?
Great job.
Good.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much
much.
for coming. I know this,
Very
you're glad
impressed.
you can breathe. It's all over. Thank you, guys.
Mr. Howe, could you explain real quick what those are?
Oh, these are 8 pillars?
Show guys.
Your 8 pillars of integrity.
Yes. Accountability.
Courageous leadership.
Respect.
Honesty.
Service and perseverance. Thanks.
Great job, guys.
Thanks, guys. For them?
I want to know Mr. McKinney.
Oh, okay.
He probably thinks he's off the list.
Yeah. Look, he looks relaxed.
Mr. McKinney, before you leave, I got a question.
Sure.
Is there, to me, this is great. Is there any plans to continue this class on up through high school with it and everything?
You know, I would love to see that. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest, we actually started we started a character council at the high school the last year I was at the high school. Before I went to the middle school, we actually developed a character council there. It's not quite as, I don't know exactly what's come of it since then, to be perfectly honest, because everything at middle school's been keeping me plenty busy.
Right.
But I don't know what's coming of it. I do think that by shaping it and framing it the way we are at the middle school level, it really lends itself to continuing on.
I mean, I just hate to see that they 1 year and then they go to high school and it happened to be over there and then,
I will
so.
say there has been a focus now district-wide on character education, and where I can see this only growing and, really growing much larger as it stands right now.
Okay.
So I would think it would continue on in this format, but it's already been established in high school that there is a character council. It was an interview process, and a lot of really good folks over there are involved in that, so.
And the training that the middle school is taking a part of, and Mr. Thompson at Lincoln, we're planning on continuing that, expanding that down and up to the high school. So
Good.
great job, guys.
You're up.
I can't top that. There's no doubt about that. But I did want to talk very briefly about the start of the year. I think we're off to a fantastic start. When I go to the buildings, I see tons of energy. I see a lot of people, collaborating, working together. And I just think we're off to a wonderful start to the school year. In terms of open house, we talked a little bit about this during the last board meeting, but we had outstanding attendance at that. I think the buildings looked wonderful. The floors, the custodians, I appreciate them, and the maintenance as far as getting on many of the items that were pushed off to the end of the summer just due to the different things that were going on. But again, a great job by everyone, and some of the percentages are listed there in your report, but really basically from 80% all the way up, we had one building that was at 98%, which was Jefferson. So again, great job throughout the district, and it was a great night. I know there was an opportunity for me to get into every building, which presented some challenges, but it was great to see all of the people out, all of the kids visiting with their teachers, and again, just a great night. A couple more items. Don and I are very excited to be starting over the next couple weeks, getting into buildings and giving them an update on our financial situation throughout the district. Again, it's an opportunity for him and I to speak to every building, every teacher, and every department as we go through this process. And again, this will be the first of many times that we come to the buildings this year. We'll be sharing updates related to the 2013-14 budget, obviously, also our bonding capacity, our tax rate, and our facility assessment needs, and that process will actually be beginning here in the next couple weeks. So again, Don and I are looking forward to that process and talking to those buildings and the faculties and staffs there. Last thing I have is the technology update, and actually Mindy is going to give us that. But again, I know we've got tons of things going on throughout the district, very exciting things related to technology. I've heard just positive after positive related to that, and I'm very excited about the direction we're heading in. So I'll turn that over to Mindy.
I'm just going to speak to the ed tech side of technology. So what we've been doing so far is I have met with teachers and tech teams at the various buildings, and we've worked to get our intermediate, middle school, and high school students all up and running with their Google accounts. And so they have the Google accounts at this point. We're training them on how to use them properly, and so that they can access a lot of the new technology that we have, like the Chromebooks. You have to log on to a Chromebook using a email account of some sort. And so now that they have those, they're able to get those going in the classrooms. So those are up everywhere, and right now I have a 5-week collaboration schedule that I'm on, where I travel from Truman to the elementary schools and the intermediate, and I meet with the teachers during their collaboration time, and we do hands-on training with the technology. So instead of just sending out information to them or training to them or standing and just giving a, hey, this would be cool if you used it in your classroom, we pull in technology and we sit down together. They discuss technical issues that they're having in their classroom at that time, and then I also show them some tools that they could incorporate into their lessons. And it's just a good opportunity to see what's going right for them, what's going wrong for them, and what they need help with. And it's been invaluable the past few weeks, the time that I've spent with the teachers and just getting that face-to-face contact with them and hearing what it is that they need in regards to technology. So we're continuing with that. We're working on just how to manage the devices in the classroom, because just having all of that equipment in the classroom is just a big piece of the puzzle to begin with. And we're teaching them how to use a tool called My Big Campus, how to use all the Google features, all the Google apps that we have. We have purchased a lot of databases for our schools to use, and that's things like National Geographic Kids, the Gale databases like Student Context in Learning, and it's showing the teachers and the students how to use those tools so that they can safely research, and then just teaching them basic computer navigation as well. And so that's what we have going on so far, and we plan on continuing that training and working on PD days, doing trainings in all the various buildings as well. Any questions for me?
I like your Alabama.
Thank you, Roll Tide.
I just want to tell you, Mindy, I'd like to compliment you, because I have heard just through talking with people, not necessarily about you, but so many people have come to me and said, Mindy does such a great job. So I want to pass that along to you as a compliment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a really fun experience so far. I'm very excited about this year, so thank you.
Good, good. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to hear a couple of reports, and let's see. How about Mr. Eaton? Give us a little information about the budget.
Be happy to do that.
Okay.
You guys have a bunch of electronic files. They're pretty large, but there's a bunch of them. But it does make sense. I did number them for you, so they're in order. I printed my copy, but this is an extensive, and a lot of this is required. MSIP requires to have comparisons from the previous years, so we do that. But I'm just going to summarize it for you, try to hit the key points. And literally, this is based on last year's budget. And part of the reason for that is it works for us, it works for me, it works for the administrators in building department budgets. And those of you who know me know if I'm conservative if I'm anything. So I try to not necessarily build a worst case scenario, but we try to build in all the expenditures we think we're going to need. We try to build in some cushions for some things, a little bit of cushion for like fuel, for instance, for the buses. We try to leave cushion for utilities costs, those type of things, and still have a budget that's realistic. And then on the revenue side, I probably try to be a little bit conservative, knowing that I would rather make up some ground on those things later and try to find a comfort level where I feel comfortable starting, as well as Matt and, of course, you guys. So with that, overall, what we're presenting is a budget with estimated revenues of over $35.5 million, proposed expenditures just over $36 million. an overall deficit to begin the year of $474,000. Of that deficit, $440,000 relates to operating funds, and about $34,000 relates to the debt service funds. Some of the key revenues, we're equally dependent on local property taxes as we are with the state formula. And speaking of local taxes, I would like to say that the rate that the board approved in August has been certified by the state auditor, so that's the rate we'll be using moving forward, which is basically the same rate as last year. As many of you know, on local property taxes, I always budget a collection rate of 97%. Most of the time, we exceed that slightly. This past year, we actually collected 98.35%. So, if that 98.35% actually holds true this year, that would be an additional $168,000 to the budget that's not in there right now. Likewise, with the state formula, and as Angie mentioned, we had I guess, I don't know how else to put it other than dodged a big bullet last week on the veto, and thanks to some courageous legislators, but that could have been devastating for us. It's my understanding the governor has released the funds that he previously withheld, so that while I didn't budget for that, I think we're going to see an increase probably right away in the state formula. But that being said, I did in the budget project 91.5%. Last year in June, we actually ended at 92.5%. However, in August, the last payment we actually received was 91.1, so I felt like 91.5 was a fairly safe starting point. I do believe if the governor releases those funds, we could get back to that 92.5 level. If that happens, that would be an additional $138,000 for us. So you can see that there's some, you can see what I'm talking about being somewhat conservative in the revenue side. On the expenditure side, once again, we have a provision of $50,000 for instructional needs. That's under the control of the assistant superintendent. We also have the technology plan that the board had approved, $245,000, that is in there. And once again, I placed kind of a buffer, if you will, of $200,000 in the operating and maintenance budget for any major repairs or replacements that come up that just absolutely have to be done. We did not make a provision for purchase of school buses. However, of course, the salary increase on the teacher scale of $500 on the base, and then the 2% add-ons for the classified schedules is also included. So that's kind of a quick overview about what's in there. I always look at this, and I refer to this a lot during the year, but keep in mind it is just kind of an outline, kind of a plan, if you will. I would never present this to you if I hadn't, and Matt I think is comfortable with it because we know where we're going. We will obviously rely on the administrators and department heads to control costs. And the one thing that I do know from doing this for quite some time is that some of these items will exceed the budget, some will be under, and we'll find a way to make it work big picture wise. As you know, we allow the administrators and department people to make budget transfers between line items, and we don't question that. We do that to help them. So overall, I'm comfortable with it. Would remind the board that we did add $582,000 to our operating reserves this past year, which brought us up to about 21.5%. So when you look at that and you say you're starting the year with a deficit of $440,000, I think that's doable. So that being said, you know, I think that's about as good as we can do, and hopefully we'll make up some ground as the year progresses. And you know that any changes that we make to the budget, I bring to you, and you see all of those on the quarterly report. So be happy to answer any questions.
I know we had some discussion on the school buses earlier in the year. So what is the plan for that? Do we not need some replacement?
Oh, I think we absolutely
plan for that?
do. I think we absolutely do.
So if it's not a part of this budget, how are we going to be able to accommodate that need rise?
I think that's one of those things that if you asked me right now and somebody came to me tomorrow and said, hey, we have to buy a school bus, I think there are probably a couple places in this budget I would go and try to look first before I would add money for expenditures. But ultimately that would be a board decision. The board says we're going to buy school buses, we're going to buy school buses. Or if we have to, we're going to do that. I always want to look for, especially in expenditures, I always want to look for areas in the budget where we may be over, that I can use that money rather than adding money to the expenditure budget. And Matt and I just found out today, even after this was done, that I think our VOTEC fees, we're going to have some savings there. So things like that, as the year progresses, that we would look at first.
Thank you.
Don, I know we're going to save a little money. We got a little plan going on here with American Express Corporate Purchasing Management. Could you give us a little rundown on that, please?
Yeah, we were contacted by a representative from American Express. I was a little hesitant to meet with them, but I went ahead anyway because, to be honest with you, we had looked at this 3 or 4 years ago. And at that time, the program, the card, actually had fees attached to it, and you did earn rebates. So the big decision was it worth it? Would you know, the fees be worth the savings we might see? Now we find out that they have a purchasing card program that does not have any fees, but they do have rebates. So that sounds like a pretty good deal to me. We also found out in meeting with them, and we submitted a list of some of our major vendors, not all of them obviously, but that a lot of our major vendors accept American Express. So it seems like a fairly easy thing to do, and we're going to have one purchasing card. I told the administrators they're not each going to get their own card. I'm going to keep the card here, probably, and we'll find a way to make that work with keeping the card safe and secure here, but using the account. And it's interesting. I find that we can actually use it to pay attorney bills, our trash pickup, obviously a lot of technology purchases, things that we're going to do anyway. So it seems pretty easy if we can get that switched over and use that card to buy that and get approximately 1% back at the end of the year.
Great,
So,
great. Sounds like a good plan.
it seems like a plan. They've assured me there's no minimum, maximum, there's no fees attached to this, so that's how we're going into it.
All right, all right.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, Dr. Nathan, could you tell us a little about the School to Work Vocational and Missouri Health Occupation Program?
Sure.
It's good to see you here this evening.
Well, thank you, Angie. This has been, we're sort of in the midst of a transition a little bit. I know you alluded to the possibility of having identified a significant change in our expenditures at Unitech. Specifically, we spent approximately $130,000 last year to send our kids to Unitech. This year it's going to be closer to $86,000, which is a substantial change. We're sending fewer students this year. And at least part of the plan to use some of that money is to expand our career tech scholarships that we offer to our kids. And this actually is going to take a different form than it has in the past. I've been working with MAC in the last couple of weeks, and it appears that we're going to be able to offer dual credit in a variety of classes that we never have before. Specifically, all of our PLTW classes, which are all the classes taught by both Eric Johnson and Eric Shelton, as well as our biomedical classes, will all be dual credit now. Those classes will be offered to our students for free, and then we can use this money or a portion, I should say, of this money that we're saving for Unitech to pay for those students to take other classes online, or pardon me, at MAC. In addition, I've been working with Julie Ward to put together a program of study so our students can work through an Associates of Applied Science within our doors, beyond just the Associates of Arts that we currently offer. So there are a few different things that we're working to try to make work together there. In terms of the PLTW Biomed program that we've just gotten started, I've checked in on that several times, met with those who are overseeing the grant and worked with the teacher, which is Courtney McIntyre. It appears that those things are all moving along smoothly. The course is off the ground. We have good enrollment. The students are engaged, and those who are overseeing the grant are very pleased with our progress. So that's looking very positive as well. So by and large, things are moving in the right direction. It appears that we're going to be able to offer even more programs to our students than what we currently are now. And that's good news for them and good news for us in terms of MSIP 5.
Would that help if kids were thinking about going into health professions? Would that be helpful to them?
Potentially it would, and a lot of it depends on the programs that they're working with. We have also begun the Child Development Associates program, and that explicitly will help kids move towards working in a daycare center. That will set them up so that they graduate from high school with the experience and the coursework they need to move directly into that field. Any number of these courses potentially will help kids depending on what they do. An Associates of Applied Science, however, is designed explicitly for a student who is unlikely to move beyond an associate's degree, wants to move into the workforce from there. And so we have to be careful that as we put this together, we're targeting the right kinds of kids. So for example, if we're able to put together a successful program with television production, then we're looking for that student who wants to move from an associate's in applied science and television production directly into the workforce, because some of those credits may not transfer as successfully as they would in an associate of arts. So we have to really target this specifically to the kids that need it.
So these guys are going to move pretty closely after graduation into employment.
Yes. And truth be told, the majority of these students who start down this path may not actually complete the 72 hours required for an Associate of Applied Science in the high school. But as they move into MAC in the subsequent year, they will have a tremendous head start. An Associate of Arts is 62 hours, Applied Science is 72. And so it's a genuinely steep order to complete all of that coursework in high school.
Well, and over the years, we've also talked about A+. And while A+ provides money, obviously, for the tuition, it does not supply money for books. And we know, as parents, or if you've worked with, colleges, the cost of books is...
It's potentially substantial.
Yes, between $150 and $200 a book in some cases. So this really gives the students a financial leg up, as well as the parents that are providing those monies.
So some of these classes will be considered dual credit actually by the end of this semester, and we'll get credit for that for the entire year. Others, we're working through some specific articulation agreements with MAC, and I aim to have those prepared for the beginning of the next school year.
Thank you so much.
Just want to ask, how many kids less now are going to Voctech?
It's approximately 65% of the number that we were sending.
Is there a reason why such a dramatic drop?
At the risk of saying something politically unsavory, kids go to where the education is good, and we're doing good work here. And there are some specific programs that have even lost state accreditation at Unitech. And so we find it very difficult to endorse sending our kids over there at this point. And as we increase our offerings and the potential to earn dual credit, their offerings have declined.
And for a student, I know 4 years ago, we started the health science program at the high school. Typically, we sent between 15 and 25 students over to their health science program. We offer the same service now at our high school, and it's basically that same thing, that same theme across. Now we offer a biomedical program, we have a Project Lead the Way program, the pre-engineering program. So it's just, we're offering more at our high school, and a lot of kids want to stay because they get the opportunity to take an additional class, plus they get the opportunity of having one of these scholarships and paying very little money for a college credit class.
Okay.
And at this point, they're going to be able to earn more dual credit with us than they will over there, and at no additional charge. So it's a win-win for everybody involved.
What happens? What happens if another student from another district come over? If we're offering better, can they come over?
We have made that offer. I believe that offer started about 4 years ago, and several districts, Fredericktown, North County, Central, have taken us up on that and sent students to a variety of programs, mainly the Project Lead the Way pre-engineering program and our agriculture program. I'm not sure that we actually have any students on campus this year. I know we did have some interest, but schedules can be difficult to kind of line out. But we basically had an agreement with Unitech and the other AAA schools. We would trade out tuition. Tuition in North County at the Virginia Tech is $2,400. So if they send a student to us, we would basically just exchange that tuition for a student attending our campus.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we do not have anybody from any other
Right now.
campuses at this point.
I did know a few years ago, we had
Right.
somebody in the agriculture and everything from a different district.
Yeah, I think over the last 3 to 4 years, we've had multiple North County students. We've had multiple Fredericktown students. We've had several from Central. Those are the 3 schools that have taken us up on that. And again, it's just an opportunity for those students to take a program that they don't have offered at their high school. And I see as we expand, I don't see any reason why, if we have room, that we couldn't offer that opportunity for more students in the biomedical, or as we expand into, these other areas.
In fact, Mac borrows our instructors at this point. They ask us to send our teachers to them, and they'll send their teachers to us because we're certified in things that they're not.
How many kids do we have in the medical classes?
Biomed is, I believe, 15. 14, 15, right in that area.
And 2 sections, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Get about 30 in the first year, which is a good number.
Right.
So we've got good numbers there. I'd have to look more closely at the CNA program. That's been in place for much longer, and the numbers are substantially higher.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Miss Susan Barber, we need for you to tell us a little information about our graduation and dropout rate, and get us up to date on the alternative programs.
Absolutely, thank you. Our graduation rate this year went up substantially. We did a good job. We are at 91.8% from last year. The preceding year was 85.6%, so we went up 6.2% in our graduation rate, which is phenomenal. Our dropout rate also improved. We are sitting at 1.9% dropout rate, and then in the previous year, it was 3.9%. That's a good solid 2% right there, so much better. Some of our alternative programs and settings currently are actually 1 week ago. We had 26 students in the Midwest Learning Center. We have 11 at Juvenile Detention Center, 13 in night school, 7 in the Missouri Option Program, 5 in Homebound, and 6 in the program called Gold Star.
Congratulations on to everyone on the graduation. That's terrific.
It is good.
We're really proud of that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Outstanding.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're down to action, so I need a motion to approve the consensual items.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? No opposition. Okay, now I'm going to need a motion to adjourn to closed session.
Yes. I'm waiting.
Yes.
I make a motion that we move into closed session, discuss personnel pursuant to 610.021, paragraphs 1, 3, and 13.
Do you hear a second?
Second then.
Okay. All right. We have a roll call for that. Sorry.
Davis?
Yes.
Hahn?
Yes.
Payne?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Lawson?
Yes.
Noble?
Yes.
Sullivan?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming, guys.